Welcome to the Native Diamond Podcast.
Oh, shit! What you waiting for?
What the fuck is up, everyone? Seth McKeer, back at it again with a new podcast episode. Okay, I'm not going to do a reaction this week, and I know if you're like tuning in for that, just be patient because I'm going to drop some more. I just wanted to kind of get away from that being like the main focus of the podcast. Originally, it was not a reaction channel, so I just feel like I need to throw in a little variety and talk about one band in particular today that I grew up listening to, and I've just seen them really from the start and to where they are now. It's absolutely amazing. But before we get into today's episode, I just, first and foremost, want to thank everyone that's followed me since day one. Or, you know, if you're new, I love that as well. I'm not going to say I'm like well versed with like bring me knowledge. I have been a fan for a long time, so I kind of had that perspective. You know, a lot of this is just doing research on the internet, which we all know that sometimes that information isn't always 100% correct. So if I get it wrong, or, you know, you want to elaborate on a certain part, maybe I didn't touch on it, just drop that below in the comments. And I just appreciate you guys checking out this video in general. So I'm not going to hold you any longer. Let's get into it. I know a lot of people would probably say Bring Me is like one of their favorite bands, if not favorite band. Okay, this band has obviously gone through its changes. I mean, we've seen them go from deathcore to straight up hardcore to, you know, a little electronica core to kind of a hybrid of everything else, right? Why is that? Why have they changed so much? In my opinion, they've maintained some type of relevancy through the years. I mean, if you were to pull up their Spotify, I did as of today, which is February 25th. Okay, they have like 10 million Spotify listeners. We've just seen them stay relevant for so long and also grow like just step by step by step. It's kind of insane to see. And, you know, I just wanted to ask this question. How did they do it? And, you know, like, I just wanted to kind of take a look at Bring Me the Horizon's history in general, because as a fan, okay, I never like dove deep into like their history and what they actually came from. So I just thought this would be an opportunity to really check that out. I'm not going to read all this stuff that I've looked up, but I just feel like it's important to go through. Let's just go through the timeline here and just kind of paraphrase, because we could easily just go on Wikipedia and look all this information up, which is, you know, I'm not saying I did or did not do that. But I wanted to throw in my little tidbits kind of in between. A lot of people might or may not know, okay, where did Bring Me the Horizon get their name from? And ding, 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 if you are a trivia person, especially about scene bands, we all know that they got it from Captain Jack Sparrow of, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you want to say it, okay? So Captain Jack, boom, number one Easter egg point. You have officially named this timeless metalcore band. Per Wikipedia, it's stating they put out an EP, This Is What the Edge of Your Seat Was Made For, in September of 2004. It's got the RAR, which is like an emo classic nowadays. They did it under a UK label, 30 Days of Night Records. Okay, I just read that super fast, but anyway. So they put this out. They're getting a lot of buzz. Best British newcomer at 2006 Kerrang Awards ceremony. They ended up being the supporting act of the Red Chord. I don't know if you guys remember that band, but the Red Chord was sick. It was kind of like deathcore. Well, they're saying a Boston-based death metal grindcore outfit, which makes a lot of sense because every Boston, you know, metalcore guy I know is like the Red Chord. And they fuck with that a lot. They fuck with that band. Alright, this is the Wikipedia part where you're just like that gray area of like, does this fucking make sense? Or is this like, is just full of shit. Apparently, they kind of like falsified some emails to basically contact promoters requesting for their band to go on this tour, and you know, kind of did the old finesse, if you will, the devious lick of getting themselves booked to tours when they are actually a nobody band, right? And it says, of course, that alcohol consumption fueled their live performances in their early history, when the band would get so drunk they vomited on stage and damaged their own equipment. I think that's like the Rockstar mentality of let's fuck up our own shit for the entertainment value of the live performance, if you will. This goes on, you know, we're partying, we're hanging out, we're doing the Rockstar life. 2006, Count Your Blessings. If anyone knows this band, they should know Count Your Blessings, which is like, I feel like which was probably a stepping stone, if not the first step, your intro to this band, Bring Me the Horizon. This was like the MySpace, the start of like the MySpace era, I feel like. I mean, of course, RAR was definitely a part of it, okay? Their last EP, their initial EP, yeah, of course, okay? But, you know, as far as that era, I remember this the most. Pray for Plagues. A lot like Vegas, Slow Dance, Black and Blue, Off the Heezy. It was just like their intro. It says here to playing with, let's see here, in 2007 to play with bands like Barry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm fucking this all up. To play with bands like Kill Switch Engage. Sorry, I'm such an idiot.
You know me. You know me all too well. My only.
They replaced Bury Your Dead on Kill Switch Engage's European headline tour, and basically it was easy for them to get in there because Matt Brusso departed from the band Bury Your Dead. So it was easy for Bring Me to basically scoop in there and take that shit. The only bad thing about opening for Kill Switch is you have to live up to Kill Switch's standard, you know? They're not like that type of metal band per se, so they were just getting beer balls thrown at their heads apparently. On to Suicide Season, okay? 2008, 2009. So I graduated high school in 2009. I know, I'm such an old fuck now, right? But I graduated in 2009, and this is like when I really like started fucking with this type of music altogether. This is when I feel like we're reaching that peak of this style of music. Even though it's still very relevant today, Suicide Season, that was just like the cheat code for their career. Alright, this kind of got them into Warped Tour. This got them as the main supporting band for I Killed the Prom Queen. I saw them at Warped Tour, but that was just at the end of them, you know, as a whole, I guess. Unless they're still together. I feel really bad for saying that, but I'm pretty sure they split up. I don't know, I'm just kind of going off of metalcore knowledge that's divvied up in my head, so to speak. They also opened up for The Ghost Inside. And then The Red Shore. The Ghost Inside also was really fucking popular at that time as well. That was a huge level up for them. With this album comes lots of things. They get to play with Thursday, Cancer Bats, 4 Years Strong, and Pierce the Veil. They were featured on this tour, Taste of Chaos, it looks like. And coincidentally, the tour organizer was Kevin Lyman. Moving on a little bit later, looks like Curtis Ward, one of their guitarists actually, with Lee Malia, ended up leaving the band because he was already deaf in 1 ear. His other ear was just getting blown out from all these really loud live performances, which led to them getting a new guitarist, Jonah, which came from Bleeding Through, and the band knew him from his former work with the band I Killed the Prom Queen. So everything was just going in full circle. That was a really cool period. Their next album, which is like one of my favorite albums. There's a Hell, Believe Me, I've seen it. There's a Heaven, Let's Keep It a Secret. What I liked about this album in particular was like It Never Ends, Blessed with a Curse, but these songs, honestly, to me, I don't know, it was just like really helpful songs that got me through like tough times. You know, I think that's what made me start liking this band, was this album in particular. I just remember like going home, watching YouTube, watching the video to It Never Ends like almost every day, along with like other ones, but that was definitely in my circulation. If it wasn't for this, they wouldn't have gotten to play with like Bullet for My Valentine and Atreyu. So that got them into that whole Live Nation, high demand situations where they're playing all these tours in arenas. So they're doing this in 2011, which, you know, is only really like 9 years away from their conception, so to speak. So a lot of growth in a short period of time. Now they're, you know, at this point, we'll just say April 2011, Bring Me's embarking on a European tour with some bands that we've heard of called Parkway Drive, Architects, and The Devil Wears Prada. It looks like they start kind of hitting this European tour, playing with like Machine Head, Devil Driver, Darkest Hour. They go into one of my favorite eras of this band, Sempiternal, in 2012, 2014.
This is sempiternal. Will we ever see the end? This is sempiternal.
This is kind of like where I first saw Bring Me live. They were playing as a supporting act for A Day to Remember, and they were also on tour with Motionless in White and Chiodos. I don't know if it was like Ollie not feeling the location of where we're playing at, or the crowd, or I don't know, maybe it doesn't feel good, but it was not like a great performance. It was just very disconnected. Didn't seem like he wanted to be there. Didn't really interact with the crowd. And then once the show was over, he just kind of bailed. So as a fan, I was disappointed, but you know, at the venue kind of sucked because basically they had all these seats at PNC, so like you can't really do like the mosh thing. There's a bunch of gates up. It was just like not your typical like metal show. That's like where like, I don't know, Jimmy Buffett would play for a bunch of old farts so they can sit down.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville.
For a metal show, it's kind of not your ideal venue is what I'm trying to say. So anyway, speaking of this whole show, when I get home that night, I remember specifically that night that Drown dropped. What it's saying here is the 21st of October. That must have been when I saw them live, because I remember that dropping and listening to that on the way home, and it was just like a great day for music for me. So now let's fast forward to 2015, which marks what I would call like the switch to the mainstream era of Bring Me, which kind of like created this like ladder to what I feel like is where they're at now. I'm talking about That's the Spirit, hitting that main stage of Sony, and their songs are being played on like NFL commercials. They were like, you know, in between the game coming on and off. I remember hearing the Bring the Horizon song, like it was Thrones actually, or Throne. And I think it was actually on like Madden even, but I remember hearing that song everywhere, and I was just like, wow, dude, like they've finally hit commercial status, and you're seeing them like all over TV. Kind of like the Black Album for Bring Me, you know, it's in like Metallica terms, kind of like where all the bangers were all together. You know, there wasn't like kind of like weak songs in between or filler songs in between on the album. Just catchy, meant to be played on a radio station type song. But it was definitely more like hard rock, for sure. Not shitting on it. I mean, it was just not my favorite era. But, you know, Jordan Fish definitely had his foot in this one. You know, being that keyboardist that they needed once, you know, Ward, their old guitar split off. You could always tell that there was this Linkin Park influence. They've always cited that as like an influence. So like that direction that they were heading, it's like they're basically become the modern day Linkin Park for like this generation of like emo kids. It's the star power, it's Ollie Sykes, it's the tattoos. I don't know what it is, but obviously he has that star power and they're bringing it all together. Let's fast forward again to 2018. Amo, like Te Amo, comes out. The album that a lot of people knew off the rip. Album of the year. Okay? I heard it on every scene-based podcast. I swear to God. Amo was everyone's favorite that year. Okay? You're getting features from people like my man Danny Filth from Cradle of Filth. Okay? With Wonderful Life. Mother Tongue is another banger single. Nihilist Blues featuring Grimes, an EDM artist, DJ, okay, whatever you want to call it. And also, let's talk about the song Ludens, which was really for the game Death Stranding, which featured Daryl from The Walking Dead. To see them go and basically be the theme song for a video game with the release so big, it was pretty fucking impressive. At this point, they're just getting a lot of publicity just by attaching themselves to bigger things to, you know, get their name out there. It's kind of like back in the MTV days when you would have like Linkin Park and Korn and Marilyn Manson, and they were all, you know, playing their music videos on MTV, and you just seen them, you know, just like gaining so much steam. So 2019, let's jump forward to The Pandemic. Their newest album or EP. Okay, we're gonna argue about this. I remember this argument. I'm going with EP, but survival horror. Okay, phenomenal EP, co-produced by Mick Gordon. Didn't Mick Gordon do like the Doom soundtrack? I don't know, but big name there. Also doing these collaborative type things, you know, with like Youngblood, Baby Metal, Nova Twins. Even they're just killing it. I remember when this dropped and just being so fucking stoked on this album in particular, kind of bringing back that heaviness that we all missed out on maybe in the previous albums. A refreshing album that I feel like the band really needed. Honestly, one of my favorite albums. Sempiternal is definitely number one for me. This could be number two. I don't know. Let's get on to the point that we're at right now, the most recent, doing a surprise act performance, Bad Habits, alongside Ed Sheeran, which is huge. And now, of course, they have the studio version of this song. It's on Spotify, and it's like their number two right now most popular song for this band. So that's crazy. And the fact that they've, you know, went from being so many different types of bands: grindcore, emo, progressive rock, metalcore, deathcore, alternative metal, alternative rock, post-hardcore, pop, new metal, you know, all these different avenues for this band, and they've just remained to stay so relevant. And a band that like really everyone fucking just loves. They've attached themselves to high fashion with Drop Dead. I remember them doing, you know, a Cradle of Filth collaboration with Drop Dead, and that was just like a fucking killer move. I think they've just maintained relevancy for so long and have continued to grow because mainly they've paid attention to what is going on musically in the world and like what the trends are, and basically hopping on those trends with their style, I would say, and also their influences. They've always tried to be just a more mainstream metal band, so to speak. You know, they've looked up to bands like Linkin Park and Slipknot and bands that have made huge success, you know, on a more high dollar avenue, so to speak. Hate it if you want. I think they're brilliant. I'm always going to be a fan of Bring Me. I don't know if I always get roasted for that now, but it's cool that the younger generation that's coming up is like hearing, you know, Bring Me on TikTok, and they're becoming fans themselves. So, you know, something that started out when, you know, I'm basically at the end of middle school and going all the way up until now, and it's still relevant and people still have this like cult following for this band. I think that's pretty impressive. I really enjoyed learning more about Bring Me. I'm a huge fan, always will be probably. unless they do some terrible shit. I don't know. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, or whatever platform you're on. Show some love and leave some feedback. Throw a review down, leave a comment, whatever it is, wherever you're at and however you're listening to this. No, but I really do appreciate you listening to me, and if you made it this long, you're a fucking real one. I love you so much, and thank you so much for listening to me. Keep listening to Bring Me, and if I got anything wrong, like I said, drop that shit down below. But anyways, until I see y'all in a future video, shine on.
Hell yeah.